Welcome back to Sippin With Sin, the podcast about 7 things and stuff that are important to everybody all across the universe, the astral plane, and your mama's house. It is the number one podcast of such things proven by people far smarter than us. So don't question it. Just accept it in your soul of souls, heart of hearts. It is what it is. And, we embrace that title. We're pretty proud of it. But welcome back. Another week, another episode 96. We're getting close to that 100 episode mark, which is pretty crazy to think about. And we got a fun episode for you guys. So, without further ado, let's welcome back Mr. Dreadlocks himself. Premature air horn. Welcome back, Christian.
How's it going, everybody? Feels good to be back.
It's the only thing we have premature here.
Yeah, pretty much. It's good to be back for another
episode. Did you not like the Mama's House? I mean, it could be the number one podcast in their Mama's house.
When you said that, I wasn't expecting it, and I definitely made a face, if nothing else. So when you play this back, you'll see that face.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Might be the number one podcast in my mama's house. I don't know. Hell, I don't know. I don't know what she listens to.
I mean, maybe the podcast. So
maybe. Mama Sin, if you're listening, good job. Way to be the number one podcast in your house, hopefully. All right, well, we have a fun episode. First, I want to have a moment of silence for the fact that my hopes and dreams were crushed this past week. I really thought I was going to get to watch Godzilla -1 when we recorded this the next day. But, no. It's only coming out in Japan on Prime. So I don't know when I'll get to watch it. So that's awesome.
It'll be this year, I'm sure.
Dude, I'll be 95 and finally watching it. Like, Godzilla already have done other stuff. He'll already retired or something. I'm about to just give up. I'm so tired of waiting on this movie. And for those that say just go to a theater, look, I have a toddler. Do you know how hard it is to find a babysitter sometimes to go to a theater? And I'm not taking him because he would be Godzilla. He would literally be stomping around, roaring at people, knocking popcorn over, and yeah.
I can see that, actually. I can see that.
So, eventually I'll get to watch it. Hopefully. But what we like to do to start every episode, we like to talk about what we've been watching, reading, listening to, or playing this past week. And I think Christian said he would like the most handsome on the show to go first. So I guess I'm going to go first.
That's probably exactly what I said.
It is exactly. See, you heard it first. There you go. Podcast is over. It's been proven. We accept it. You deal with it. All right. So I actually will start with something that come out. When did it come out? It come out, I think, end of last week. Maybe. And that would be the Knuckles series. My son went in depth in Sonic pretty hard. We watched Sonic 1 and 2 quite a bit. We even watched some of the old cartoon. He really loves Sonic. He gets spurts where he wants Sonic, and then we'll watch Sonic for like a week straight, and that's all we'll get to watch. And then we'll get spurts where we're watching Spider-Man movies for a week straight. Like, it just, I don't know. The attention span, certain things catches him on certain weeks. But we've watched a lot of Sonic. He probably went like a solid month of just wanting Sonic. So I've watched the movies. I actually really do like the movies. I enjoy them.
The live action ones?
Yeah, I enjoy both of them, actually. I don't hate watching them. There's a lot of worse stuff I could watch. So obviously Knuckles was one of my favorites. I did really like Knuckles. I can't think of the actor's name that voices Knuckles. Christian, this is where you chime in.
Idris Elba?
There you go. Thank you. I thought he did a great job. And Paramount had a Knuckles series. So, of course, my son gets excited because he calls him Red. And we got to watch Red.
That's kind of dope, though.
He'll say Sonic, Tails, Red. And I'm like, can we not just say Knuckles or Nux or something? But, all right, whatever. Red works. Like, I know who you're talking about.
You damn right.
But I had a few notes in my detailed note fashion that we can talk about a little more. I believe it's 6 episodes. They're around 30-minute episodes. I love how they're expanding the universe and giving the characters a little more depth and backstory and stuff. Sonic and Tails are not in it very much. They're in it for like a small part at the beginning, which is fine because the whole little mini-series is revolving around Knuckles. Like, it's about Knuckles, giving you a little more on the echidna. The Hound from Game of Thrones is in it, which I found interesting. Yes. I actually thought it was somebody different at first. I thought it was the dude that always plays like the Russian guy and stuff. He's been in video games and all kind of thing. He was Tyr in American Gods.
Ah, gotcha.
Do you know what I'm talking about? He's always like that role. I thought it was him for some reason at first, but then Mrs. was like, "It's the Hound." I was like, "Oh shit, it really is the Hound." Obviously, hair shorter and a little different looking, but then once he started talking more, I was like, "Oh wow, that's definitely the Hound." Kid Cudi
cool.
is also in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that one.
The main actor that's not voicing somebody is I think his name's like James Madsen or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I think that's his name. I only briefly looked up the series because I didn't realize.
Well, no, he's not in the series. He's in the movies as like I don't know, main human.
James Marsden, you mean?
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not in it.
Okay.
So Wade, it kind of focuses on his deputy Wade and Knuckles, obviously, and Wade is funny. I thought he had a lot of fun, humorous parts and lighthearted. I mean, it's essentially a kid's show, so obviously it's not going to be too in-depth, but awesome music. I got it had a lot of almost like a Peacemaker kind of vibe with like the music, cool. Like the throwback jams and like a lot of good stuff like that all throughout it. And there was a lot of funny moments with Wade and Knuckles together and the chemistry and the way they worked off each other and grew as characters almost a little bit. You got to see them both, evolve a little bit more. And it makes me ready for Sonic 3. It does. I enjoyed it. I'm sure I'll watch it a bunch more with my son because, that's how it goes with toddlers. He'll want to watch it over and over again.
Absolutely.
But I really enjoyed it. And speaking of Sonic 3, it pretty much was confirmed that we're getting Keanu Reeves as Shadow, I believe.
Yes.
Which is pretty dope. Mrs. Sin is not a Keanu fan, so she's a hater. But
wait, what?
Yeah, she despises Keanu, and it drives me crazy because it's like she won't even give him a chance. I'm like, come on.
What did he do?
I don't know. She just says he's awful and then leaves it at that, and it just breaks my heart.
I mean, but does she watch John Wick?
Yeah. Oh, she hated John Wick. I'll never forget. So I was skeptical. Look, I was skeptical on John Wick the first time too, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's just gonna be an action. Like, I'll watch it. So one night, couldn't sleep, put it on, and I was like, this movie is actually super badass. Like, I really dig this movie. I was like, I bet she'll love it. So we rewatched it the next day, and I was so excited, like so pumped. Like, I can't wait for you to see this. You're gonna love it. And she's like, this movie is awful. And it was like a knife to stab through my heart. And I was like, but why? She's like, Keanu sucks. I'm like, but why?
Man. Yeah.
And she's like, he doesn't say anything. I was like, he doesn't need to. He's shooting people. He's busy. And she was like, yeah, and the dog. And I'm like, this. Okay. And now she comes in kick chat and she said he's an awful actor. Look, get the dagger out of my heart, lady. Stop hating. Stop hating. But no,
hurting me too.
Sonic, the Knuckles series. The Knuckles series is awesome. I enjoyed it, but again, I'm partial because I've watched it so much. I mean, I have fun with it. Other than that, there's one that I cannot wait to talk about, and I'm gonna go on a limb and say you probably haven't seen this because you hate me, and every time I watch something cool, you haven't watched it, and I can't really go into detail and have a full-fledged discussion that I want to. So I'm just going to go on and rip the Band-Aid off, and I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil. I heard a lot of mixed things, mostly good though.
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet.
Of course.
It's hard to find time to watch all the things I want to watch with what I've got going on outside of like podcast life. I know how it is for you too. Like, it's hard to watch stuff. So I have to prioritize heavy what I'm going to look at. And most of the time it kind of defaults to, hey, I know for a fact we're going to talk about this. I'm going to watch it. But like, yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Totally plan on doing it. I probably will watch it within the next month. It honestly just depends on how my internet's going to be here soon because I'll have to be streaming it off of Shudder, right? So just kind of depends.
What do you mean what your internet's going to... What?
I'm gonna be getting my internet is gonna be changing here soon. It's gonna be the same thing, apartment BS, man. It should be like essentially should just be like there's a weekend or so where I won't have internet, but like I can still watch it on my phone. So I mean, no big deal. Okay. But I want to try to watch it. I want to try to watch it when I don't have my little one with me, just so I don't have to worry about him like popping up and asking questions or getting scared or whatever it is. So it's really just got to plan around him and watch it.
Okay, so my brief notes on it. First off, love the 70s vibe of it. Full on 70s, like how it's shot and everything. Love that vibe. Really,
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. I also love the fact that it's spooky shit happening on Halloween. Like this is a Halloween episode of a late night show, and I think that's super cool.
Mhm.
I love the fact that it has like commercial breaks in parts, like the old school commercial breaks, not like here's some Dove face wash or whatever. Like old school, and even like the format and everything's laid out with like more of an old school commercial style, like late show, whatever. We'll be back in a few minutes, and then it's like all the little weird text and stuff. Um, and how it just presents that whole late show vibe is awesome. I love that so much. The little girl in it is creepy, and if she stares at the camera one more time, I was about to scissor kick her in the head. Dude, whoever the actress is that plays this little girl, literally, this is her, Christian. Like, she's just always doing this, and then they would
Ooh,
change cameras,
I
and
saw
she's
a
like
picture of her.
turning and just
I
like
saw yeah.
smiling, and yeah, it. Oh, God, I don't know.
She
She
was
did a good
also
job
in the
though.
trailer too. I remember seeing that face in the trailer. So yeah.
Um, the story was pretty cool. I'm not gonna go in detail because I'm gonna wait on Christian, just like always. I can't talk about anything because Christian wants to ruin life. But I will
Yep,
say
that's
there's
what I
one part
do.
at the end that's a bit out there and wild. But other than that, I really, really dug it. And out of the movies we've talked about recently with Night Swim, Imaginary, Immaculate, this is definitely my favorite of all of them. I like this more than all of them. So, with
That's
that being
good.
said, to keep this short and sweet so we don't like get caught up on this segment forever,
Hmm. Hmm.
the movie is a strong 7 for me, but I'm going to say I'm going to give
Nice.
it about a 7.5.
Okay.
But a
That's
strong, I
good.
would
That's
say a
good to
strong
know.
7. It's I don't know. I dug it. I think it's the retro vibe of it. I think the fact that it is presented as a late show and like the way it kind of all plays out. I enjoyed it. The missus enjoyed it. She liked it too. There is a wonky part though. I will say there's one part that I was like, okay, that's a little bit, but
So like, you would watch it again? Is what you're saying?
yeah, no, I totally will watch it again.
Good. That's good. That's good. So you'll probably be watching it again around the spooky season. I like that.
I already told her I would more than like, yeah, it'll more than likely go in the rotation on around, once we get all that going.
Okay.
Um, I know the next one I think I want to watch is Talk to Me. I've heard pretty good things about Talk to Me, but we'll see.
I have heard really good things about it as well, and it just came out at a terrible time. I was just not able to go see it.
Um,
So, but I want to. I really do want to.
but yeah, so that's what I got this week. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. Planning
Okay.
a subathon, Christian. That'll be fun.
Ooh, I'm into it. I'm into it.
So I'm planning one because we have like a little trip we're going on into this month. So we'll
Into
actually start
this
it next
current
month.
month.
Sorry, what?
Okay.
Start next month. So been talking about it now that we got the better interwebs having a little subathon. And sadly, there's no like game releases that are exciting me right now. Like nothing that's like grabbed me. Like let's plan something around that. So what I think I'm gonna do because I've never beat this game. I've played like a tiny bit of it, like maybe the intro, and I don't really remember that. But I've never beat Resident Evil Zero, so I kind of want to play Resident Evil Zero, and then maybe go
Hmm.
into Resident Evil One or something.
Resident Evil Zero is the one with
It's
the
the
animals,
train or something,
correct?
right?
Yeah, you're on the train and you have to fight the. Yeah, I played a little bit of that one, and I remember being real annoyed because I didn't have ammo like every single time I needed ammo. That's the only thing I remember though.
But yeah, I'm thinking about doing something like that. So that'll be interesting. We'll definitely have some incentives, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I've been working on planning that and trying to figure all that out. So with that being said, I'm gonna take your line. What have you been into this week?
This week has been a crazy week in real life, but I did get to watch the new Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero trailer, or is it Sparkly? I think it's Sparking Zero. It doesn't even matter. Whatever. I got to watch that trailer and see the new characters that they introduced, and
Anybody
it
good?
is Sparking Zero, by the way. What's that?
Anybody good? Any good characters?
So the only two characters that I really, really gave a damn about that were in it. Like, that's not fair to say. I care about pretty much all the characters that they have announced, and I'll go over those quickly. But the two characters that I wanted 100% in the game, and I thought would be a crime not to have, that they finally introduced, were future Gohan and future Trunks. So I really like both of those characters. And for those of you who may not remember, you need to.
I think we lost Christian. I think we just lost Christian. I think he broke his internet or something. This man can't go anything. So he's talking about the new Dragon Ball game. It has like a crazy roster. He comes back. Christian?
There we go. That was so weird.
Can you
That
not
was so
break
weird.
stuff?
Yeah, I think that was actually me breaking stuff this time, and not like I can't blame that on my computer. I think that was totally me. But anyway, let me get back up in here and finish what I was saying.
You see what we deal with? Welcome to the Sippin With Sin podcast, where Christian breaks all the stuff and things and makes life difficult.
All the stuff. It was. I'm pretty sure that was.
Look, next time that happens, Larry's taking over. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Larry.
But I really like those characters. So future Trunks and future Gohan, they're from the History of Trunks movie that came out. Sid, I'm pretty sure you've seen that as well. But that was one of the better Dragon Ball Z like non-canon films, but it ended up being canon. Really liked it. I like the characters. I've always been a Gohan stan, but to see him be in a role like that, in a world like that, was really cool to see. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. I think that they did his character justice for the most part, and then the androids were just so freaking evil in that universe. So I had a lot of fun with that. But all that said, I'm going to quickly go over the roster so far and just kind of give you the quick rundown of the characters, and then you just let me know what you think of the characters as I go down the list, and we'll see what's going on. So obviously we have Goku, who's in the game, base level Goku, of course, from Z to Super. Then you have him in his Super Saiyan forms 1 through 3. You have Super Saiyan God Goku. You have Super Saiyan God Goku Blue, of course. You got Vegeta. Vegeta has many forms. So Grade 8 Vegeta, Super Vegeta, Super Saiyan 1 and 2 Vegeta, Majin Vegeta, Super Saiyan God, and Super Saiyan God Blue Vegeta as well. They're in the game. Broly's in the game from Super, not from the original story. Legendary Broly's in the game. Super Saiyan Broly Full Power from Super is in the game. Trunks is in the game. Future Trunks, that is. Cell. I only have seen Perfect Cell, so I'm just going to say Perfect Cell and not the other versions so far. Frieza's in the game, of course. Jiren's in the game. Android 17 and 18 are in the game. Piccolo's in the game, of course. Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Hercule. Bergamo's in the game, which is a newer character. Master Roshi, Max Power's in the game. Nappa, Birder, Jace, It, Super Saiyan Kale, when she's Berserk, is in the game. Topo's in the game. Despero's in the game. And I forget that other character's name, but it's the partner for Topo and Despero and all them. But they're in the game. So I'm like I said, with all that going on, you got pretty basic roster of characters minus some new people from Super. I'm really excited to see who else they add to the game. Is there anybody that I didn't name that's not confirmed fully yet that you want to be in the game?
You talking to me? I mean, you just broke up, so if you said something at the end, I don't know what you just said then. Are you muted? And he broke stuff again. This guy. All right, if you're watching on YouTube, you get a close-up of my face because Christian keeps breaking everything. All right, welcome in Larry, our new co-host that doesn't break stuff all the time. Larry likes to howl at the moon and take long strolls in the moonlight. He also likes to do werewolf things because he's a werewolf. So, yeah. Okay. The roster, honestly, I don't even know. I know the roster's massive. So, I don't know who it's missing. I'm going to be honest. No, isn't it 100-plus people? Isn't that how many people's in the Dragon Ball roster? Sparking Zero. Let's see. It is like a crazy, crazy roster. The first 24 characters. Oh, that's who he was going through. Who's it? Someone was telling me, I believe it was Yobi. Shout out to Yobi. I believe he was the one saying it was like 100-plus characters would be in this game, which is nuts. That's crazy. To have a fighting game with that many people. Yeah, there's so many spots open, and I see the ones that are filled now. That's just bananas. honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really looked at all the stuff. I haven't really followed the game or the trailers or anything yet. So
This
I'm behind.
time, that totally was my internet, not me. So, I guess
You
it
have
was
been
just like,
fired, and we have a new co-host, and his name's Larry.
name's Larry. Larry is a dope co-host. So I get it. I don't even blame you, Larry. Do
I
your
mean,
thing.
we already told what Larry likes to do. He likes to howl at the moon and take long strolls under the moonlight. Because
Under
he's a
the
werewolf and
what
he likes
about
to
when
do
there's
werewolf
not a
shit.
moon? What about when there's not a full moon, Larry? Then what?
I mean, he said mind your business.
That's what I thought, Larry.
He
Guess
said
you're
mind your
fired now.
business. Fix your internet and your microphone.
Mind your business. So essentially, what I was saying, because I didn't realize like how long I was gone, I was like, are there any characters from the DBZ universe that you love that you want to be in this game?
I mean, I think they're gonna have pretty much everybody because it's gonna be like 100+ people. So I don't even know who would be missing.
Well, who do you definitely want in the game?
I
Aside
mean,
from
if
whoever I
Trunks
already
is in
named.
there, I'm fine. Just give me
So let me
Trunks.
ask you one more question about Trunks. Do you prefer like
Future.
purple hair Trunks? Okay, that's what I thought.
Future Trunks.
'Cause, like,
Future Trunks, the
the whole
first time, I will never forget. I was so hyped the first time I saw him. I was like, who is this badass with a sword? Like, nobody has swords. This dude rolled up with a sword, and he's a Super Saiyan. And then when he goes in the chamber and comes out, his hair's long. And he got, oh, dude. And it's like up in there, but part of it was in a ponytail still. Like, oh, it's so sick. It was, yeah.
I do remember when Trunks
Super Trunks
first.
went
I
hard.
had that VHS before it aired on like TV, like on Toonami and stuff. I bought that from like remember Suncoast, bro? Remember Suncoast? Yeah. I bought it from Suncoast, and it was probably like double the price it should have been because it was from Suncoast, and that was before anime was like easily accessible. So I got it, went home, watched it, saw Trunks show up. He had his own theme song and everything, bro. Like I was like, who is this purple haired person? This is amazing. Shows up, destroys Frieza immediately. Frieza uses the move that he like kills planets with. Trunks just like pushes it up like it's nothing, kills Frieza on the spot. And then his bitch ass dad was like, oh, and killed him too on the spot. I was like, yo, this is dope. This is so dope.
Exactly.
And then Vegeta's like,
Trunks
he can't be a Super Saiyan.
Kid Trunks
so dope,
is still cool, but not as cool. Kid Trunks can kind of be, I don't know.
I am not a big Kid Trunks fan. I think Kid Trunks is exactly what you would expect a kid raised by Vegeta and Bulma to be, which is a little piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Kid Trunks and Goten are kind of, I don't know. Goten's all right too.
Goten makes more sense just because, like, look at the life he lives. but like with Trunks, it's like, dude, you got no excuses for being this way. You know,
other than that, though, people, I don't know. Dude, the roster is stupid. Like, I haven't even seen stuff. I've just seen a picture of the roster, like how many spaces are empty. It's dumb. I've never seen a fighting game with a roster that robust. Like, it's crazy.
It's insane.
So, to answer your question, I mean, anybody you want is more than likely probably going to be on there because I don't know how they're going to have 100+, like, I don't know.
I think everybody that you really, really want in that kind of game or in that game is going to be in it. The problem is, like, will you get every form you want? So, for an example, I see that Perfect Cell's in the game, but that doesn't mean that all the other forms of him will be in the game. I'm pretty sure they will be because I am a sucker, dude. I love First Form Cell. I think he looks awesome. I think his design was cool. I thought his power set, all that, it's all the same, but he just really stuck out when he was in that insectoid form. And then when he got to his second form, I was like not feeling it at all. Then obviously Perfect Cell looks really good as well. So we enjoy that. But yeah, First Form Cell was like the scariest pull up I've ever seen in Dragon Ball. Like I was when he showed up on the scene, I was like, yo, he's a problem. I don't know who this dude is, but he's a problem. When Trunks and Gohan found the cocoon of him, like the shell, I was like, nah, this I don't know what's in there, but it's a problem. But keep it moving. I also saw a trailer and pulled up the manga, but I haven't started reading it. But there's a new anime coming out that apparently both of us would really dig. I was looking at new stuff that we could, get into.
Before you say it, I forgot to tell you something I started. I finally caved.
What'd you start?
Finally caved.
What'd you start?
The wife has been on me since pretty much since we finished it, but we started rewatching Demon Slayer in prep for the new season.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a quick question for you to not derail too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take early early. Like, I'm talking like season 1, they're just getting the demon slayers. You take your 3 characters. Your Tanjiro, Inosuke, and starts with a Z. Dude, I'm blanking.
Inosuke.
No. The other
I'm
one.
sorry, Zenitsu.
Yes, thank you. You take them. Who do you think's stronger, and how would you rate those 3 if you went 1, 2, 3?
Stronger. I think just brute strength is going to be Inosuke, but who would win the fight if he went to
if
sleep?
You put like, all right, this is your top, and then this is kind of like the pecking order, like overall.
I think if he went to sleep, then it would be Zenosuke.
I think I'm gonna go Tanjiro first because Tanjiro has something I think the others don't. Tanjiro's more of like the pure, complete. Like, he's a pure spirit, but he's also more of like the complete. He's always like thinking, and he's on his like adapting. Where Inosuke is more of the brute strength. Like, he's more of like, I'm just gonna smash shit until it works. But the other one with the sleep though, he's stupid strong when he's asleep. So I think he's second. It would be close with him and Tanjiro, I think. But Inosuke's gonna be third for me, I believe.
Zenitsu, like with him, if he were to go to sleep somehow and then use his thunderclap or whatever, like Thunder Flash, like he I'm pretty sure he's got both of them. He's that fast. However, just off of the fight in general, like based off of their stats and stuff, I mean, yeah, Tanjiro takes it. Like, he's the most well balanced. He thinks well on his feet. He doesn't freak out often. I mean, he freaks out in his head a little bit, but he keeps his calm most of the time.
He doesn't really get rattled too much.
Yeah, he's the one who's like, he's the big brother, right? He's the one who's literally getting shit done. So, like, easy answer is him. But if Zenitsu, if he goes to sleep and actually does the move, I think they're out. I think they're done.
So you put Inosuke as the last one.
Yeah, he's the last one just because, I mean, he doesn't have anything that can... Even when he fought Tanjiro at the beginning of the show, like, Tanjiro still beat him, and he was not even, like, at his best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd have to say that. I do really like Inosuke, though. He's good. He's a great character.
He is good. He grows on you. He starts off he grows on you. Okay,
absolutely.
Continue with what you're saying, though, about the anime. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no problem. So it's very much like Demon Slayer, and it has demons and swords and hunters and all that. And to be frank, the show is coming out. It's called Sword of the Demon Hunter, and I was looking at the trailer and I was like, wow, this reminds me a lot of Demon Slayer, but not so much so to the point to where I don't want to watch it. But it's also something that Sin and I would like to watch, and then we could talk about week to week. So I think that's going to be something new. It comes out. I had it pulled up, and I forgot. I know it comes out this summer. I just don't remember how soon. It's. Oh man, now I need to look it up. Shoot. It's coming up soon. If not this month, then it's coming out in June. But I think it's coming out this current month. I don't see the.
Well, June's gonna be very busy for us.
Yes, it is.
Because speaking of June, The Boys comes out June 13th. It got released.
Yes, it did. I did see that.
I think today or the last couple days they've released the release date for it.
I did see that.
And it will also premiere with 3 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot.
So we'll have 3 episodes of The Boys to kick it off, which is, dude, that's God. The debauchery that will come from that. There's going to be so much. I can't wait. We'll have Demon Slayer this month. Actually, I think like under 2 weeks, or maybe next week. I think actually next week. I think a week from Sunday is the first episode of Demon Slayer.
I'll definitely make sure I check that out.
But it does. So we'll be talking about that. I'll be bringing that up weekly. So just get ready. Demon Slayer is gonna be coming out weekly. Obviously, all that will be sub, right? Yeah, it comes out sub first, and then dub comes out later. First, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna watch sub, and then I'm gonna probably rewatch it on dub.
That's fair. I'm going to.
Other than that, though, I am gonna try to watch Solo Leveling and Kaiju number 8 since you've recommended them.
Those
are gonna be ones that I'm really gonna push for.
I'm glad that you said that because that segues me into the next thing I wanted to bring up. I did
Did
watch
you find
Kaiju number 8.
did you find the date? Do we know when
Oh
you're
yeah, it doesn't have a set date. It literally just says summer. So as soon
Okay.
as I get a better date, I'll let you know.
Sword of the Demon
But
Hunter.
with yeah, Sword of the Demon Hunter, I'll keep you
Okay.
updated on and off pod
We'll
about it
check it
so
out.
that we can keep up. But I did watch Kaiju number 8.
Okay.
Currently, it has 3 episodes. I watched all 3 episodes, and I
Wait, is that
think that
like
you will
so it's a
like it.
brand new one that just started dropping episodes?
Brand spanking new, just
Uh,
started. So it's 3 episodes out right now. It is. So I read a little chunk of the manga, but I forgot about it because I was reading this years ago when it first started. Forgot about it. So watching the show, I had to remember some stuff that was going to happen. But like this show is funny, dude. It's it's funny. There's a lot of comedic relief in this show. The main character is so silly, but when he needs, well, essentially, I can tell you the basic premise because it's in the trailer. There's a guy who works for this kaiju disposal company. They essentially come in and clean up dead kaiju's, right? That's what they do. So imagine Pacific Rim after the Jaegers kill whatever the kaiju creature is, and then you have a team of people that come in and clean up the guts, like Ron Perlman's people. That's who he works for, and in this show, you see that he wants to be a part of the people who actually take out the kaiju's, but he kept failing the entrance exam. So something happens to him, and he gets this ability to kind of turn into a kaiju of sort, like a hybrid, and that's it. That's the premise of the show. But it's really funny. It does have some serious moments to it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. When I got to the end of episode 3, I was like, no, 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 I want another episode. So like, if that tells you anything, I am really enjoying it. So great show so far. Good start. I hope that it keeps the momentum going. I hope that they don't drag it out. I hope they don't have too many episodes or like flashbacks and stuff. But we'll see. It's a new anime. I can't speak to it yet. I've only read a little bit of the manga. I'll probably end up rereading the manga over the weekend so that I know more about it, know more about it, and then we can talk about it. But I've been trying to read some other comic book stuff that we'll get into later so I can keep up with that. But speaking of comic books, I did also read Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 4.
Okay.
And I know some of you guys listening are like, Ultimate Spider-Man, isn't that Miles Morales? Isn't that already in? Whatever. There's a new Ultimate Universe that's happening, and essentially it's a universe where in the Spider-Man story, Peter Parker never got bit, never became Spider-Man. He just had a life, and then he gets the opportunity to be Spider-Man. He gets the spider, gets the spider bite, gets to be Spider-Man, but now he's in his 30s. So it's like, what would Spider-Man be like if he became Spider-Man in his 30s instead of as a teenager? And it's a really cool story. He's married to MJ. They have 2 kids. One of his kids, the little girl, actually peeks in and sees that he's in his costume when he gets home one night. So she knows that he's Spider Man, and she's telling him his costume is trash because his original costume in this world is literally just an all black suit. And she's like, "Dad, that's not good. You got to come up with something else." She eventually helps him come up with this original Spider Man costume that we know and love. And then he meets the Green Goblin. Green Goblin like takes his mask off, sees that it's Peter Parker, and then the Green Goblin also takes his mask off to match, and it's Harry Osborn. And the issue number 4 is literally them. It's Harry and his wife, and Peter and his wife going to dinner, and how awkward that dinner is, but also how cool it is. And I really, 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 really like the depiction of Harry in this comic book. He's written real smooth and real calm, real collected. I love it. I love the way Peter's written because he's a little more toned down. He's not making as many jokes all the time, but he still does make jokes, and I really enjoy the relationship that he has with MJ in this. I love the relationship they have with their kids in this. Also in this world, um, Uncle Ben never died. It was Aunt May, so that's a big change. That's cool to see. And Harry, we find out that his wife is Gwen Stacy. So that was really cool to see. She knows everything about him, and he brings that up to Peter. He's like, Peter, you haven't told MJ what you do. And he was like, you really expect to live the life that we live without telling your person everything? Like, are you going to try to tell me that you're not telling them to protect them, or are you saying it because you just don't want it? You just want to be selfish with it. And he pretty much tells Peter the same thing that you would tell your friend in their 30s, right? Who's out here doing superhero shit. Like, there's no fucking way that you're going to be able to live that life and then keep your partner in the dark. You just can't do it. And because something bad happens, something bad will happen, blah, blah, blah. I just really, really like this issue. There's a lot of dialogue in this one, but it serves a purpose. It was well written. It was easy to read. The art is fantastic. I was burning through this issue and I loved it. I can't wait for the next one. But I wanted to bring that up specifically because I know it's been a little while since I talked about a comic so highly that wasn't like Batman, but Ultimate Spider-Man been killing it, loving it. And Ultimate Black Panther, just a shout out on that. That's been really fucking good too. So if you
Speaking of
guys want
comics, my
some Marvel,
son,
yeah.
my comics are like down the bottom shelf, like my volumes and stuff.
Mhm.
And every now and then he'll look at them and he's like, "Dad books." I'm like, "Get a little older and we can talk about them." Like, I don't want your little 2-year-old hands ripping stuff up and going ham. And
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
today he pulled one out and it happened to be the death of Gwen Stacy.
Mhm.
And he saw Spider-Man. He was like, "Spider-Man." And I was like, "Shit." So he opened it up and he was just like looking, just seeing that amazement through his eyes, like as he was just like turning the pages and seeing Spider-Man and all the different little panels and stuff. I was like, ah. So I found like an old jacked up comic that the cover's ripped off of. I think it's an X-Men. I was like, "Here, dude, here's your starter. We'll see how much you destroy this one before we start going through comics."
Mhm.
But it's not
Understandable
gonna be long.
completely.
He's gonna start wanting comics and us to start reading them, which I'm all for. Like, I'm cool with it, but I just
What do you want to start him with?
depends on what he's in. I mean, Batman and Spider-Man have always been his favorite. He does like the Hulk, but I tried to get him to watch an animated Hulk show the other day, and he wasn't with it. And I was like, okay, well, I tried.
Yeah, I can see that being a little harder to get into if you're 2 years old. That's for sure.
I mean,
The
he likes that
last,
stuff though. Like what is it? There's like it's like a kid Spider-Man show. It's got like Gwen, Miles, and Peter.
I know what you're talking about.
And Hulk has had like a cameo in it, and he's like Baby Hulk, and he likes it. But and then Iron
Love
Man and
that.
stuff. I'm like, Iron Man's dope, buddy. We could watch Iron Man. But it's
Maybe
all
not
coming.
yet.
Like he gets into that stuff pretty good, so it'll be fun.
The last thing that I wanted to bring up before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, because I know we're going to run a long time here quickly. As far as music goes, I did listen to a new song this week. At the time of this recording, I think I listened to it about 2 days ago, and I don't think that you're in the hip hop game too much. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not the biggest hip hop fan myself. I do listen and I try to keep up as best I can. But there is a beef going on right now with
I've
Drake
heard of it, but I haven't.
and
Where you're going, I haven't heard it. Like I know what you're talking
okay,
about, but I haven't heard it.
yeah, the Drake and Kendrick Lamar
Yeah.
beef is going strong, and essentially what happened in a nutshell, Kendrick fired first with a song he was on, fired at J Cole and Drake. J Cole came out with a song, fired back, and then immediately apologized for doing it. He said he didn't feel good about it, so he backed out of the beef completely. Some fans liked that and thought it was respectful. Other fans thought that it was like a pussy move to do. Whatever. Uh, and then Drake comes out with a song. He did his thing, and then Kendrick Lamar just released a song again, and it's called Euphoria. That song is 6 minutes long,
God.
and it is Kendrick Lamar like lyrically dismantling Drake. It's fantastic. I listened to it. I don't honestly, Sin. I've listened to that song over the course of 2 days about 10 to 12 times.
God.
Yeah,
Okay.
I literally went to the gym and just played it on repeat. Like I liked it. The first time I heard it, I was like, this is fine. I like this. I listened to it a second time. I was like, wait a minute, this is fantastic. And then the third time I listened to it, I was hooked. I couldn't. I kept listening to it all day. I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. I'm gonna keep listening to it. And dude, it is. I'm not gonna get into it on the podcast like what he says, but there is a lot of shit that he says about Drake that is eye opening and hilarious. I will say at one point though, like the chorus of the song is Kendrick is saying, "I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you dress. All this stuff, you know." And Drake posted a a video responding to the song, and it was a clip from 10 Things I Hate About You when Julia Stiles' character is reading the poem at the end of the movie and starts crying. And I was like, that is funny. However, it doesn't stop the fact that that song is lyrically destroying you and your entire career. But I had to bring it up. I listened to it. It's been on my mind heavy the last 2 days. So I wanted to bring it up. And anybody listening or watching live that does that does hip hop, listens to hip hop. Like I liked it a lot. Not everybody's gonna agree, and I totally understand that. But yeah, I wanted to bring it up. Even if the information I just gave you is like incorrect, I needed it to be said so that anybody interested could go and listen to both. But just listening to these two artists like shoot on each other like that is good. Like it's been a minute since there's been something this interesting going on in the game, and like the last actually I want to say last month, I think Chris Brown released a diss track on Quavo that was that was hilarious as well. And I was thinking to myself, is Chris Brown gonna have the best diss track of the entire year? All of all people, is it gonna be him? But yeah, man, just I had to quickly bring it up just because I wanted it to be known, and I've been listening to it nonstop, and I like it a lot. So that's pretty much it on that.
All righty. Get you staying on top of things. All right.
Oh, and I am incorrect because Yobi in the chat just let me know that they've been throwing shots at each other for a decade, and I said that it started with Kendrick being featured on that Future song, which is actually incorrect. So Yobi, thank you for correcting me. I love where the beef is going, and I hope that it continues because the more shit that they say about each other, the better us as fans get to eat. So I'm just like, yeah, keep going, please keep going, keep going. We'll see what happens.
Quick news: did you see that Terrifier 3 got moved up 2 weeks?
I did not see that. Did that just happen just now?
In the last couple of days, they've announced that Terrifier 3 will be bumped up. I think 2 weeks. I think beginning of November. I could be wrong. I feel like that's it now. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember what the date was to start with.
I think that that's good for it. The only question that I have about that is, will that affect the sales of the movie going into the holiday season, like to the Christmas season? Because I think that's what they were targeting.
Yeah, it's like,
but it'll probably just
it happens around Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, people are gonna watch it. Like horror fans already want to see what they're gonna do.
True.
So
that's very true.
At least it's getting moved up and not moved back, which is a rare.
Oh yeah,
thing
if it was getting
nowadays.
moved back, I would be afraid. I'd be very afraid.
Yeah. It seems like that's the growing trend. Like everything gets pushed back nowadays.
Yeah. Oh man, 2020 really gave us PTSD when it comes to.
Postponed. All right. So does that mean we're going to the next thing? Are you ready?
It does. I'm ready.
All right. So you ready for my in-depth notes? That's right. It's time we talk about X-Men 97. We've talked about it every week. In-depth notes. I know you all look forward to these very detailed, awesome notes. Christian, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Episode 8, first of three-parter finale, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
So, and what is the title of the episode, Christian? It's a really dope title.
Tolerance is Extinction.
Yeah, really cool. Part 1. So, first thing. Nightcrawler just looks awesome, Christian. I will not take Nightcrawler trashing or bashing or anything. Nightcrawler, Kurt just looks badass.
I don't hate Nightcrawler. He's just
you can just deal with it. I'm tired of your shenanigans. Not only that, he can use 3 swords, Christian. He had that sword in his tail doing work, and it made me so happy. I love how he just looks awesome in the show. I've said that. He really looks really, really cool. How they're doing him with like the art style and everything, the animation. It looks awesome. The fight scenes in this episode were great. I really enjoyed it.
They really were.
I love seeing the backstory of Bastion because I asked about him last week. As someone who's not familiar with Bastion, seeing kind of like where he come from and some of the stuff, really cool. Really dug that. Also, it seems like a big ass problem. Just gonna say it.
Yes.
He seems like a huge ass problem.
Yes.
My next note, Christian, I think you're really gonna like this. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. I had to say it. All right. Next note is human sentinel seems like a massive pain in the dick hole.
I agree with you on that one.
They're like
100%.
these. They almost look like zombie. I don't know. They're wild when they can fly. Like it's trippy, but it's really dope. I really like it. But very scary because like everybody just starts turning into human sentinels. It's like, oh, this is bad. We finally get to see Wolverine be a badass. Contort. Wolverine has some moments.
Finally.
Let's see. Other than that, love the line, blood is blood, but family is a choice. Or no, you choose family, I think is what they said. Something like that. That was really cool. And that's actually said by, isn't it Kurt? Isn't it Nightcrawler?
Yeah, Nightcrawler did say that.
That's right. Next note. Christian. Spider-Man. We saw him.
Oh,
I was waiting for him to say something.
I told y'all.
He didn't say anything, but I was waiting, which excites me because now that's going to fuel the rumors that we're going to get another like a Spider-Man animated show, just like they're doing with this. And if they do it, I'm all for it. Give it to me. My next thing, I know you're going to go in depth with this, but I wish I knew who all the cameos were. Some of them look familiar. I didn't know their names, but all the cameos they show late in the episode, the different ones showing up were really cool. And some of them look familiar. Some of them I have no clue. So that's pretty cool. And then final thing is Magneto was doing big boy shit once he gets freed. Magneto just starts flexing on everybody. Literally is like, hey, watch what I can do. Let me just flex. And speaking of flexing, since we're talking about flexing, let's talk about Cyclops. Is like, I'm going to drop up out of here in a Porsche. And even Cable's like, is this a Porsche? And Cyclops just smiles. Let's flex a little harder for our son from the future. Jesus Christ.
Right? How
I was a straight flex. He smiled like, of all the vehicles, I'm driving a Porsche right now. Like, come on, Cyclops.
Yo,
get your life
right. He knew what he was doing. He
He did.
For sure.
All right, it's time for your notes, since you've had my very detailed notes.
All right, so I'm going to be honest. I didn't actually get to finish writing my notes because it was time to record. I got to watch the episode last night, and I didn't write any notes. I just focused on watching the episode. So I'll go over the notes that I have, and then we'll kind of talk about it more, and I'll remember some of the stuff that I was going to say. But like you said, the episode is called Tolerance's Extinction. This is part 1 of 3. The very first thing that I want to say is after watching the episode, my favorite part, I think my favorite line in the episode was Magneto was right. That was my favorite line in the entire episode because not only was he right, but that whole scene was straight gas. I loved it. I noticed at the beginning that Professor X was in the intro this time, and they added the OG scenes back into the episode, like of Cyclops fighting the Sentinels in the danger room and Storm coming down, shooting lightning and stuff. Like all of that was from the original version of the intro, so they just gave us that back. And Nightcrawler's still in it in place of Magneto because he's not a part of the X-Men right now. So I really thought that was cool, and I knew they were going to change something. When the episode starts, we immediately get into Cable doing like target practice outside, and Cyclops is essentially complaining to Jean, or not complaining, but talking to Jean about how him and Cable haven't spoken because every time he tries to bring up the father-son stuff, Cable just kind of like walks away, disappears, gets out of there. And at first, when I first heard that line, I was like, oh, why is he being a dick? But then I thought about it, like, Cable didn't have time for this shit. Like, Cable knows what's up. He's from the future. He already has all the information. He doesn't feel like talking about it. He also wasn't really raised by loving parents because he lives in the world that he's trying to save this particular X-Men team from, which is the one ruled by like Bastion and then also Apocalypse. So his life fucking sucks. And he also has the techno-organic virus to deal with constantly. So yeah, his life just isn't the best life to live right now. So he, of course, doesn't want to talk about all that stuff. So I get it. Cable gives the team the cliff notes on Bastion, his backstory. Also, really quick, when they talk about the Prime Sentinels, the people who become Sentinels in this, it doesn't work in the comic because of the techno-organic virus. It works in the comic because of nanobots. Yeah, but we'll get into that at some other point in time. But he also mentions that the war that Bastion rages was a 300-year war. So he's been doing this and planning all this shit for 300 years. Like, I thought that was insane. Um, Mutants are either dead or slaves, and people run the world now, but they're not really people. They are prime sentinels, so they're like hybrids and all that, which is crazy. So Professor X's dream does get realized, just not in the way that he wanted. I'm pretty sure a character said that in the episode too. Um, and when Cable is showing them, or when we're looking at the flash forward, I guess, of the world where Bastion has taken over and done everything and beat everybody, there's a woman with green hair floating in space, like doing stuff to the world. That is Polaris. That's an older version of Polaris. Polaris is Magneto's daughter, and she has very similar powers to him. So I think she was trying to keep the world's magnetic fields together so it wouldn't fall apart or whatever. But that's 100% a cameo for Polaris, and I thought that was cool to see. Um, Cable has tried many times to save, the X-Men, including Madeline Pryor, but he always gets pulled back. We saw that in the what was it, the third, fourth episode? We saw that. And now we know why. But it's essentially in a nutshell because when the attack on Genosha happens and Madeline dies, which I didn't think she was dead, but she's gone. But when that happened, that's a fixed point in time. It can't be changed. So that's why he keeps getting pulled back every time that happens. But he did get to say goodbye to her this last time, which was cool, at least. Um, East makes a Doctor Strange reference, essentially, because he says that, ooh, that's strange, once Cable tells him that. Then he mentions being told about some stuff in Comertage, which is where Doctor Strange is from. That's his little corner of the world and all that. But we got to get that cameo mention, at least, of Doctor Strange, so I thought that was cool. Also, once we listen to the backstory, the pseudo backstory that Cable has, we find out that that's only like half of the backstory. We also see that Bastion has leaked the footage of Professor X being alive and in space, getting ready to get married and shit, making the X Men look like liars and all of that. So he's really burning the candle at both ends when it comes to screwing over the X Men. We see Sunspot's mom as kind of a POS. She just wants to throw money at the mutant problem and throw the X Men under the bus as well. And we see even more of that later in the episode, which really fucking sucks. Um, Nightcrawler gives Jean the Fast and Furious family speech, and it works. I'm sure you have something to say about that, but it's the truth. He also mentions Mystique again, and I've been thinking all season long that Val Cooper was Mystique, but I guess I was wrong.
And
So
I was waiting on that reveal whenever, this episode I thought it was about to happen, but
I really did too, but it didn't. So I was like, I guess I'm done.
unless
Like,
they're
whatever.
holding on to it for something else, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Speaking of Val, we find out that she was working with Bastion this whole time. So what a POS. She's also wearing Bastion's like outfit essentially. I was like, when did she get an outfit change? She just showed up with a cast on her arm or a sling, and then she had Bastion's costume on. So I was like, whatever, cool. So that's happening. We also see like Bastion's talking to her and pretty much giving her the rundown of what he's been doing, how long he's been doing it. A bunch of villains get cameo scenes when they start talking about the attack on Genosha, which the government knew about, which is really fucked up. But I didn't write it down, so I know Doctor Doom was there. I know Baron Zemo was there, and somebody else was there. I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting. But I thought it was really cool that even though Doctor Doom in the comic books is evil as fuck, even he was like, "Yo, that shit ain't for me, bro. I don't want no part of that." And I was like, wow, even Doctor Doom doesn't fuck with Bastion, so that's cool. Um, I really liked seeing Doctor Doom in this episode, even if it was a quick cameo. Love seeing that. Thought that was dope. We also see that Magneto is locked up. They got him strung up like an X, of course, and he's in his underwear. So I was like, dang, bro, can't catch a break. But that's happening. We see his tattoo of when he was a prisoner during World War II. So I thought that was cool to see again. And does Val apologize to him right then, or was it later in the episode?
I feel like she semi apologized. I thought it was right then because she does like a lot of talking, then he just stares at her.
He does stare at her, which, I mean, rightfully so. That was a cool scene. I really like that. You see, Tilby comes back to talk to Beast. He's trying to figure out a cure for the Prime Sentinels, and they have their little meet cute moment. Team Summers goes to Bastion's childhood home and meet his crazy ass mom. That was cool. They get the rest of his backstory, and it is different from the comics, but it's close enough to the point to where I don't really want to complain about it, to be honest. Like it is different, but it's so close and it makes sense for the show. So I didn't want to like actually I'm just gonna leave it because like I said, it's pretty damn close. But all of the Prime Sentinels start activating. So you see Sentinels activate at the mall with Sunspot and Jubilee after she storms out of the dinner with the parents because the mom sucks. She's getting a new outfit, which is cool because I'm pretty sure that's the outfit she has later on in the comics. It's like the all black with the yellow coat she wears all the time, and then of course her iconic shades. But we have that, so I thought that was really cool to see. Sunspot, we could see him activate his fucking powers finally, which I've been waiting for the whole season. Um, Bastion's crazy ass mom becomes a Prime Sentinel and starts fucking shit up. Pretty much like half the world. And also in the intro, when the intro music plays and there's a scene where there's a bunch of people running and they run to a gate that comes up.
Yep.
Those people are the Sentinel Primes in the episode. So I thought that was a cool little Easter egg as well. But we get to see them. And then, like you were saying earlier, all the X-Men essentially in their separate parts of the world or the mansion have to fight. Tilby is a Sentinel who's talking to Beast, and she beats the dog shit out of Beast, which fucking sucks because Beast is so cool.
Beast got
Um,
it handed to him though.
Dude, he got his ass mollywopped,
I
and
mean,
it
they all
sucked.
kind of did. Truthfully, they were all struggling.
I mean, yeah, everybody's getting them cheeks clapped in the wrong way. Like it sucked. Team Summers has to fight off a shit ton of Sentinels. They blow up another X-wing, and Jean mentions it. They do shoot out of there with Cyclops' Porsche, which sure, but it looked like the windshield looks like it's made of the same ruby quartz thing as his visor. So I thought that was cool. And then like Team Summers has their whole little moment. They get like a hero pose together and everything. I thought that shit was actually really cool. Um, and I just really enjoyed seeing Gene constantly like mothering Cable, and he's like, "Quit bossing me around, quit telling me what to do." So that was pretty funny to see. Wolverine finally gets a chance to just fucking rage, and he is
Yeah, he hasn't
just
got to do anything his whole
cleaving through
show.
these people. Dude, nothing. He got to do one thing when Gambit charged up his claws and he cut off Master Mold's head. That first episode. That's the only thing he got to do. But this if you're a Wolverine fan like myself, this was the only episode or the other episode where you got to see him like really do some shit, and I thought that was cool as fuck. Wolverine goes in because Morph is his buddy. Morph is fighting. Morph turns into the Juggernaut and starts doing shit. Wolverine's doing shit. Beast is knocked out. Rogue is she's out of commission the whole episode. They're trying to heal her and try to get her to wake up and shit. But all the Sentinels show up to take Rogue out, and they're asking Logan like, "Why do you resist? Why are you why are you still fighting? It's inevitable." And Wolverine says, "I got 6 reasons," because he pops his claws. Then Nightcrawler poofs in, bro, and he says, actually, friend, you have 9. And he has 2 swords in his hand and a sword in his tail because he got punched into the library area of the mansion and 2 swords fell down. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be where he gets his swords from the comics. So he shows up with those swords and starts fucking cleaning house. And the animation popped the fuck off on this part. It was so cool to see. We even got a POV of what Wolverine sees when Nightcrawler takes you and teleports you to another place.
That
And
was
it's like
really
all
cool.
trippy and shit. That was so dope. I want more of that. One of the Sentinels takes Wolverine up into fucking space, and he just like they take off the space and essentially just drop him, and he's just cleaving his way back down to Earth. Like he just kept like slashing through Prime Sentinels until he crashed back into the mansion. And he gets up, him and Nightcrawler breathing hard, and they're getting ready to fight another like slew of Sentinels, and it just looks really cool. Um, Magneto was freed by Val, and bro, Magneto literally says one word the whole episode because Val's trying to get him to talk the whole episode, which you mentioned, and all he says is enough. He goes to like the Arctic, and then absorbs enough energy to recharge himself, and uses that to like he essentially shoots off an EMP that's worldwide. It goes over the entire world because he's an Omega level mutant. We already knew that. But he shoots an EMP that literally deactivates all the Sentinels. One fell swoop. And with that, we see Spider-Man. He's swinging around, and he feels it, and his webs break, and he lands, and we see him on a building. He doesn't talk like you said, but I was cool with it. Just the fact that he was in it made me happy. And we see other people when this happens because, like I said, it's worldwide. Everybody in the world feels this EMP. That's how strong Magneto is. We see Silver Samurai. We see Omega Red, and we see I forget the other person that we saw. Like I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. But I know we saw those first two I mentioned, Silver Samurai and Omega Red. And I will say both of those are like hardcore Wolverine enemies, villains, whatever. But Omega Red is a fucking problem. So if he shows up later on in the X-Men series, like in the show, it's going to be bad news bears for everybody, including Wolverine. So I'm really excited for that. And another character that they didn't show, we haven't seen yet, that I hope comes up in like a later season, is Sabretooth. Sabretooth's another one of my favorite villainous characters, especially when he's against Wolverine. So I really hope we get to see more of that. Um, Once that happens, Wolverine is talking to a bunch of people, like the survivors. He's saying, I wish the professor was here. As soon as he says that, somebody crashes into the X mansion, and it is Professor X wearing the same outfit that Lalandra wore when she took him to space. And he literally sends out a psychic message, and he says, "To me, my X-Men." And you can see the main core team in the picture when he does that, including Storm. So we're about to get Storm coming back to actually join the X-Men again, and I can't fucking wait for the next episode because Bastion, his plans have just started. He struck a match, lit it. He shot the first blow. There's so many things that I could say, but Bastion is a problem. I love how they explain him and his powers. He's a technopath, so he can like speak to machines. He's he's an issue that they have to deal with, and everybody's about to come together who's not dead or knocked out to fight this person. And I cannot wait. I think this is amazing. This episode was fantastic. I give it an 8.5. I'm so happy with what's going on with the show right now. The cameos have been fire. The writing, the dialogue has been fire. Every single time Magneto speaks, I'm into it. I just love this show. This is what us 90s kids deserve. I'm so ready for it. And then I'm really glad that everybody generations after us like get to watch this shit and just enjoy it the way that we're enjoying it because not only is it really really good, but like this is what us nerds have been talking about. This is the kind of shit that we are mentioning when we're nerding out like I'm doing right now. Just to have a show like this, animated show at that, it's really cool. And I'm hoping that I know that we're getting more because it's already been confirmed for 2 more seasons. But like, give them to me now. I'm ready to spoon feed it to myself. Like I'm ready. So that's what I got to say about the episode. There was plenty more that happened. I don't remember every single thing right now because I'm so jacked up and excited about what I just witnessed. But I'm so excited for these next 2 episodes and how the show is going to end and what kind of cliffhangers they're going to end on. I'm just ready. What do you think? What's on your mind?
I mean, I think it's been awesome. I really enjoyed it. I've been thoroughly impressed and happy with how they've done the show so far. I mean, you kind of pretty much covered everything, so there's not a lot to really go on. But I'm excited to see some of these other with the cameos and stuff like you said, the Omega and Omega Red and all them.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of places they can go, and I mean, I'm excited to see what they do. They have, I think, 2 more seasons confirmed. So I mean, there's a lot of
Which
stuff
is
they
awesome.
can do, and they've not really slowed down too much. I mean, it's been pretty much go go go. Like they've kept the pacing pretty well.
Looking back, there's only been one episode that wasn't like up to snuff. And that was the Jubilee centered episode where she goes into the video game. Like I think if I had to skip an episode, it would be that one episode. But other than that, the show has been firing on all cylinders.
I feel like the episode after Genosha was a little slower. Just after such a really good episode, I thought it was like a little bit of a lull. Not bad, but just a slower episode.
That's fair. I think like
I'm trying to remember what happened in that episode.
Need to.
I don't even.
I think that was the episode where. I can't even think right now. I have to like look it up.
Isn't that the space episode?
Might actually be in my past notes. Yeah, it was. It was the episode where
I think that one was a little slower. That I was just like, okay, this is not really like, I don't know. I understand what we're saying about Charles and stuff, but I was like, there was some cool parts.
Because I mean, it was like broken up into several different stories. So we had all the stuff going on with Storm and Forge. You had stuff going on with Charles. So yeah, it did slow down a little bit, which I agree with. But I think
because the Genosha episode, whatever number that was really good.
Yeah, I think that was episode 4. That was some top tier shit right there. Like that's the episode that you show to a person if you want to get them hooked, for sure. And I really enjoyed it. It's like I said, the whole show so far has been really good. So I don't have any complaints.
Yeah, it has been.
And it gives us something to talk about.
It's definitely, the nostalgia has been real, and every week I look forward to it, bringing back my childhood a little bit. I want Spider-Man show now.
100%. I need a Spider-Man show like yesterday.
Oh, but one show I will not stand for, and I've already said this before, do not bring back Batman animated series. We'll be pissed. Don't. Just don't. Leave it alone. Out of respect, leave it alone. You can make your own.
I think if you're gonna do something Batman and you want to like bring something back that's Batman, I would do Batman Beyond. I would do that. Fine.
Just, I think out of respect, you don't. No Conroy, no Hamill's not gonna do it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Good. While we're talking about X-Men, did you see the news of the dude over Marvel, Kevin whatever?
Feige?
Yeah, he told Hugh Jackman not to come back. That he said that Logan was the perfect send-off and how they ended it, and it's hard to like replicate that. Like he already had the good send-off not to do it originally. And then they obviously come back, so
I think that makes sense, but also financially they needed Hugh Jackman to come back.
Yeah. So I mean, this movie is going to help Marvel a ton, though. It would be hard for me to see this movie just shit in the bed. I mean, you gave it R. You're letting Hugh Jackman, because Hugh Jackman and Logan, like Wolverine being R-rated, is great. Mm-hmm. We know that. We got what we wanted in Logan, that grittiness. And then Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. So, I mean, you just give them the R rating, you let them do their thing, and it's money. I mean, it's printing money now, probably.
I agree.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this episode, and it's time now that we go to chat and we
pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your whiskey as we go into last call, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see what chat has for us today. I just saw one and now I gotta find it. It ran away from me. Meanwhile, Christian's sleeping.
I'm still here. I'm just waiting to see what
there's something about the lottery. And I lost it. Oh, if you won the lottery, what's the first thing you're buying and why? That's one of the first questions we have.
First thing I'm buying. If I win the lottery, man, that's good. First thing I'm buying is probably a house. Probably a new house, yeah. That's one of the first things I'm thinking of. Um, yeah, first thing that comes to mind is a house. That's the first thing that comes to mind if I win the lottery.
I think first
What
thing I'm
about you?
doing is paying off the house and then hiring a construction crew to do like a bunch of remodeling / adding on, renovating, like just making my living space better.
That's fair.
So
I
yeah,
get
I mean,
that.
pretty similar answers. We're very
Yeah,
adult, not super exciting.
yeah. I would definitely not want to squander the
No,
opportunity.
I mean, I would be sticking
But you
money back
definitely
like crazy. I mean, we'd
be
have
what?
money, huh?
What you say you be doing?
I'd be sticking money back like crazy. Like I wouldn't be just blowing money everywhere.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there wouldn't be a reason for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay. Last call. Top 5 favorite ice cream flavors. You can add toppings to each flavor. That's a
Um,
lot. I don't even, dude. I don't even know 5. I mean, dude, I don't know. Do
ice cream.
3.
Let's see.
Okay, 3 is a little better.
I'm gonna
Um,
go coffee and chocolate and oh man, I'm trying to think of the honestly probably OG chocolate, man. Chocolate ice
dude,
cream is
OG
great.
chocolate's in my top 3. I love chocolate. Mine's are all gonna be chocolate themed. So you got chocolate, and then is it Moose Tracks? I think. Isn't that the one with
Yeah,
like
you
the
got moose
chocolate?
tracks with the things that you got turtle tracks too, but I'm pretty sure you're talking moose
Moose
tracks.
Tracks. It's almost like a peanut butter cup or something in it. I can't remember what it is. Like a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then
That's moose tracks.
there was one that's like a chocolate brownie something that's so fire. It's got like the syrupy in it, and then
Ooh, all right.
Rocky Road. It's not Moose Tracks. Sorry, it's Rocky Road. Rocky Road is it. I just saw it.
Rocky Road.
Rocky
Got
Road,
you.
not
Okay.
Moose Tracks. Apologies. So Rocky Road chocolate, and then the brownie thing. I think
Okay.
whatever that brownie was. I don't know what the hell it's called. I don't eat a ton of ice cream. We don't usually have a lot of ice cream. I like
I
chocolate
mean,
though. I enjoy chocolate.
yeah. I mean, typically I usually go with like the coffee or toffee, like not toffee, sorry, the coffee flavored ice creams. I like that a lot.
Okay.
That's my jam.
All right. Do we have any other last call questions from chat before we shut the doors down? Do we have any more? Final call. Get your shots here. Now they're all just talking about ice cream. Everybody's going down the rabbit hole of ice cream. This is what happens.
I mean, I get it. It only takes one, and it's yeah, it's easy to fall down the rabbit hole for sure.
Dude, my voice right now, I could totally eat some ice cream, but no. But no. Gotta get summer ready here.
Summer ready. That's
Gotta
really
get summer ready. Hot sin summer. Is that a good thing?
I plead the fifth on that one.
Wow. Okay. This guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode. We appreciate you all listening. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Be sure to give thumbs up, subscribe, follow the podcast on all the audio platforms. New episodes come out every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time. And then, on YouTube as well. 8 a.m. every Wednesday, youtube.com/IamSinister. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Getting closer and closer to 1K subs. I know that's not a huge deal to a lot of you, but it would be nice to hit. Nice little milestone that we can check off the little list of poo right there, the little listy. Every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, new episodes. Show it love. Go check it out. Every audio platform, Spotify, Apple, Overcast, Anchor, all that good stuff. Then, of course, on YouTube also. We film these every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time on kick.com/IamSinister. So you can come over there and submit your last call question there and hang out with us during the filming. Be sure to check out our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, IamSinister. Or not IamSinister, Jesus Christ. Sippin With Sin, SIPPIM with Sin. That's right. All those social platforms. You can also find me doing my thing Monday through Friday over on kick.com/IamSinister, where we film the podcast. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, even Twitch, IamSinister TV. You can find me there. But yeah, if you want to come check out the live streams, I'd love to see you. Come say hi from the pod over at kick.com/IamSinister. And then don't forget youtube.com/IamSinister. Christian, where can the folks find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at my full name. Actually, it's not my full name. Sorry. My Instagram name is Vin and Ink. That's all one word. You guys can also find me on
I wish your
TikTok
middle
at my
name was
full name.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Christian
It's not my middle
Ferdinand.
name, but it is now. We'll just make it that now. And then you guys can find me on TikTok at my full name, Christian Vincent,
Ferdinand.
where I like to post some artworks over there.
Vin
And
and
then I also
Ferdinand.
post movie reviews. Christian Ferdinand. That's a name right there, boy. I tell you what.
Ferdinand. Yeah.
That's where you guys can find me currently on the socials. Come say
That's
hi.
right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you listening to episode 96. We're getting close to that 100 mark. It's that time of the evening. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. It's time for Christian and log it down until next week.
Guys, thank you so much once again for tuning into another episode of Sipping with Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review, smash that like button, do all the YouTube things. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify, go ahead and leave us a review. We will read. And I'm going to leave you guys with 3 words. 3 words to leave you with on every episode. If you've been here before, you know those words. If you haven't, listen carefully because they might save your life. Those words are don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.